and then Caitlin Clark takes 2 forearms from Griner, and they call a foul on Caitlin Clark. It gets way worse. Stay with me. Caitlin Clark grabs the ball, hits a logo, huge shot when they needed it the most. But then guess what happens? Brittney Griner leads with her shoulder, takes out Caitlin Clark. No foul. You can't make this crap up. Caitlin Clark's dealt with this her whole career. Look at this crap.
What happened in this game immediately sparked controversy across the WNBA. Brittney Griner delivered a hard-moving screen on Caitlin Clark that appeared obvious to everyone watching, yet no whistle came from the officials. No foul, no warning, nothing at all. For many fans, it brought back memories of previous clashes between the two players, making the situation even more frustrating. But instead of allowing the physical play to knock them off course, Clark and Sophie Cunningham responded in the most dangerous way possible by taking over the game. What started as another night of questionable officiating quickly turned into a statement performance from Indiana's biggest stars. To understand why fans reacted so strongly, you have to go back to 2025.
We have heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing.
Brittney Griner elbowing Caitlin Clark in a crazy way and then calling her a trash white girl.
During a game against Indiana, Griner was involved in a controversial sequence that many Fever supporters still haven't forgotten. Clark absorbed a heavy body check that appeared worthy of a whistle, yet officials allowed play to continue. The moment
the WNBA should investigate Brittney Griner's seemingly uttering profanities about white
became even more heated when cameras appeared to catch Griner continuing the confrontation from the bench. Whether people viewed it as competitive intensity or something more personal, it created a storyline that never fully disappeared. So when Clark and Griner met again in 2026, every physical play was automatically placed under a microscope. Fast forward to June 13, 2026, and the tension returned almost immediately. Clark was working off the ball when Griner made contact on what many viewers believed was a clear moving screen. Replays from several angles fueled debate online, with fans questioning why officials once again chose not to intervene. The frustration wasn't simply about one missed call. It was about the feeling that similar situations involving Clark continued to produce the same outcome. Whether fair or not, the perception among many fans was that Clark was being forced to fight through a level of physicality that often went unpunished. That perception shaped the entire game. Kinetic.
Brittney Griner not going through bodies.
Its defensive strategy was built around making Clark uncomfortable from the opening tip. Every cut, every screen, every possession seemed to involve extra contact. The Sun understood that disrupting Clark's rhythm was their best chance to slow down Indiana's offense. And when officials allow games to become more physical, defenders naturally push those boundaries even further. Connecticut wasn't interested in letting Clark operate freely. Their mission was to make every touch difficult and every shot contested. What makes Clark's performance so impressive is that she never got to the free throw line. Not once. Despite all the contact, despite defenders constantly crowding her space, she finished the entire night without a single free throw attempt. Yet somehow that only seemed to make her more dangerous. Rather than relying on whistles, Clark attacked through contact, found her spots, and kept scoring.
Now also, Caitlin Clark had to come at the coach, said he was chirping all night, chirping. Hold on, look at this, man. So you got Caitlin right there, look, shushing, giving him the shush. Oh my goodness, look. he like, hey man, take her up. Look. Look, he's still crying. Look, she's shushing me.
Connecticut's plan was designed to frustrate her. Instead, it created an even more aggressive version of Clark, and that turned out to be a huge mistake. By the end of the night, Clark had produced one of the most efficient performances of the season. She scored 25 points while shooting 10-4-17 from the field and knocked down 5 three-pointers. Those numbers become even more impressive when you remember the conditions she was playing under. This wasn't a comfortable game where everything came easily. Every basket required effort. Every possession required patience. Yet Clark never lost control and never allowed the physical defense to dictate how she played. The biggest reason Connecticut struggled to contain Indiana was the connection between Clark and Aaliyah Boston. Every time Boston stepped up to set a screen, the Sun found themselves facing an impossible choice. Go under the screen and Clark had room to shoot. Go over the screen and Clark could attack downhill.
Clark launches and answers with a three.
This is the kind of pace Indiana likes. You can't go under, and Lexi gets a lot of hustle points for what she does.
Clark, step back three. That one will go, and she's knocked down a pair.
With a hand in her face.
And the first 2 points tonight, she's pulled Connecticut back within 7. Clark fire away and answers with a three.
Help on Clark and Boston slipped into open space. It became a constant chess match, and Indiana kept winning every move. Boston's impact went far beyond scoring. She finished with 13 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists while serving as the foundation of Indiana's offense. Whenever Connecticut focused too heavily on Clark, Boston punished them with smart decisions and timely passes.
17 in the second. Clark, catch and shoots. Big triple.
Bucket. ATO.
Boston directing traffic. Here is Kelsey Mitchell.
Look at all the contact between Clark and LeCon.
And Clark hits a deep three.
That's how you make them pay.
Her ability to read the defense created opportunities for everyone else on the floor. She wasn't simply setting screens. She was controlling the flow of the game alongside Clark and forcing Connecticut to defend multiple threats at once. Kelsey Mitchell added another major problem for Connecticut. She poured in 19 points while also contributing as a playmaker, making it impossible for defenders to completely abandon her in order to double Clark.
Clark was so good at attacking the rim on Thursday. Shot 15 free throws. He's hit a couple threes here tonight. Boston just waltzes up the middle.
Every extra defender sent toward Clark opened space for Mitchell, and she consistently made the Sun pay for those decisions. Indiana suddenly had scoring threats everywhere, and Connecticut's defensive plan started showing cracks as the game progressed. Then came one of the strangest moments of the night. With just over 20 seconds remaining, Clark received her second technical foul of the game.
So hard off the ball to get open. Multiple defenders with length all game.
Shot clock down to 5. She somehow found Mitchell, who just circles around. Mitchell's got to get it up. Oh, yeah!
What a play!
He does it the hard.
Actually, the play was recorded one way, only for the ruling to later be adjusted after the game. The sequence immediately became a talking point because technical fouls carry significant consequences over the course of a season. The confusion surrounding the call left many fans wondering exactly what officials had seen and why the ruling changed afterward. Clark didn't hide her feelings after the game. During the post-game press conference, she openly questioned the decision and suggested the moment never should have escalated the way it did. At the same time, she made it clear that the incident wasn't going to distract her from the bigger picture. Indiana still had a game to finish, and Clark's focus remained on securing the win. Rather than dwelling on the controversy, she kept competing until the final buzzer. The technical foul discussion ended up overshadowing another important fact. Clark scored 25 points, hit 50% of her three-pointers, and controlled the game without receiving favorable whistles. That's
I didn't need an explanation. I deserved it, but it was worth it. The delay of game made no sense. It felt like Tyler wanted to assert himself into the game, and that was ridiculous. So that just not a point in the game he needed to call that. I went and got the ball, went off my foot off the scores table, and then he gave us a delay game, which is a team technical foul. So you can ask Tyler. I don't agree with that.
Not easy against any defense, let alone one specifically designed to make life miserable for you. Connecticut threw everything it had at Clark physically and strategically, yet she still found a way to dominate the action and lead Indiana through critical moments. Then attention shifted towards Sophie Cunningham. Leading into the game, there had been plenty of speculation surrounding her absence in Indiana's previous contest. Officially, it was listed as an injury-related issue. Unofficially, social media was filled with theories and rumors about what may have happened behind the scenes. Regardless of the reason, Cunningham returned against Connecticut with the energy of someone determined to make an impact.
So Caitlin celebrating, ice in the veins. Come on, dog. Then watch this. Look, telling the man bye-bye. And then shush it again. Look, she's gonna go to the sideline. You gonna see what she was saying. He was saying to her. Look, running his mouth all effing game. I told him bye-bye.
From the moment she stepped on the floor, Cunningham looked anything but rusty. Indiana had developed a habit of allowing opponents back into games during the fourth quarter, and in roughly 2 minutes, she erupted for 11 points and blew the contest wide open. Shot after shot found the bottom of the net. Boston kept finding her in open space, Clark continued drawing defensive attention, and Cunningham took full advantage. Connecticut simply had no answer. The game
Clark gets it to Boston. Cunningham. Clark has Griner on her, which means Boston for the kick out.
Shifted from tense to comfortable almost instantly because of her offensive explosion. What makes Cunningham such a perfect fit alongside Clark is her ability to thrive without dominating the basketball. She understands spacing, moves intelligently without the ball, and stays ready for opportunities when defenses focus elsewhere. Against Connecticut, that skill became devastating. Every extra defender sent toward Clark created another opening for Cunningham, and she punished the Sun repeatedly until the outcome was no longer in doubt. Indiana's victory was also about depth. Monique Billings delivered a strong performance with 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Her physical presence inside helped neutralize Connecticut's attempts to establish control near the basket. The Fever looked stronger, deeper, and more balanced than they did earlier in the season. Instead of relying on one player to carry everything, multiple contributors stepped up at crucial moments.
Clark pitches it to Boston. They go back to Cunningham. This time, she takes it all the way. 30 seconds to go. This Fever team showing poise down the stretch.
Connecticut entered the game believing it could exploit Indiana's late-game struggles. That strategy nearly worked for stretches of the fourth quarter. But players like Lexi Hull provided the little things that often decide games. Defensive stops, hustle plays, rebounds, and smart positioning prevented the Sun from fully seizing momentum.
Sophie, 2 huge threes in the final 2 minutes. This team was desperate for some offense. How were you able to step up and deliver?
I mean, you just have to stay ready. I think in the first half, there's, you're open, but, your teammates are going off too, so you got to give them their flowers, and then you just have to stay ready. And then, minutes are up and down. You play, then you miss a game, and so it can get frustrating at times, but you just have to stay your course, run your race, and I did that, and it was my time to hit my shot, so I did it.
Contributions rarely make headlines, but they often determine who wins and who loses. The rebounding battle also played a huge role in the outcome. Boston controlled the glass, Billings added valuable rebounds, and Indiana collectively prevented Connecticut from generating second-chance opportunities.
Lots of hugs and celebrations afterwards. How does that feel?
That feels good. For me, I know I can do that. I know I can be that for our team. I'm feeling good. I think Lex had great minutes, and I think that we just have to be that spark. Us others outside of the big three, we got to bring it every single game, and so I'm just proud of our group. I think we finished it. It was kind of getting wonky how it always does with us, but I think you're continuing to see the growth.
We noticed a little bit of improvement in fouling. That's been a struggle for this team. How do you feel like you guys handled that tonight?
It goes in waves. I think that's something where we got to get better. But you know what? They foul more than we do, and so we felt a little confident coming into this game, but we just got to be better. We can't put ourselves in a spot where we're relying on the refs to help us out, because that's never going to happen, and so we just have to take care of what we can and control the controllables.
Every defensive rebound ended a possession and eliminated potential comeback fuel for the Sun. Combined with efficient shooting throughout the lineup, it created a formula Connecticut simply couldn't overcome. By the final buzzer, Indiana had secured its third straight victory and sent a message to the rest of the league. Clark finished with 25 points despite never attempting a free throw. Cunningham exploded for 11 points in 2 unforgettable fourth-quarter minutes. Boston anchored the offense and controlled the paint.
You've kept these fans on their edge of their seats these last few games. They've been close, but you guys have been able to pull them out. How do you keep winning these types of games?
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the year, we were very inconsistent. We were losing those games. And so, yes, there's still some inconsistency throughout the game, but we're winning them. I think that's what matters. And again, it's stacking the days, brick by brick, and you're seeing that. You're seeing growth, and that's all you can ask. And I think where we want to be at the end of the season, we're doing our daily dues. And so I'm happy with where we're at. We got the dub. It's time to get home.
Thank you so much, Sophie.
Denver overcame physical defense, controversial officiating, and constant pressure to close out an impressive road win. Most importantly, they showed that focusing all your attention on stopping Clark is no longer enough. Indiana now has multiple players capable of taking over a game, and that's exactly why this team is becoming one of the most dangerous groups in the WNBA.
Well, on a second half run, how did your team close out this game?
I mean, Sophie made some huge shots for us down the stretch, got subbed into the game, I think, with 5 minutes to go. So we were able to hit the pocket, but they kept collapsing on AB, and then AB would spray weak side for us, and Sophie was just ready to knock it down.
11 points from Sophie in the last 2 minutes. What was going through your mind as you watched that?
Well, she's got a new elbow, so she was telling everybody that she was going to make 3 threes tonight. I wasn't so sure about it there until the last 5 minutes, but I guess she held true to her word. Just really proud of her. She works really hard, and somebody that we need down the stretch for sure.
What does another win like this tell you about this team?
Just resilience. I guess we just like to make it exciting for the fans and people at home, but we still got to find a lot of ways to get better and find our first blowout win. But those are really hard in this. Like, these teams are really talented. They're a great team. They're really athletic. They get second chance opportunities, and their post players get their feet in the paint and score. So we could have played better.